So hello everyone, welcome to the another video of Scale Up India, and you have started watching JDBC Part 5 where we are going to learn how to perform CRUD operations using prepared statement. Now you must be thinking that in our last video we just learnt about CRUD operations using the statements. So why do we need a prepared statement? So INI is also having the same question, that when statement is there, why do we need a prepared statement? I mean, why to learn this? So Mini says that you need a prepared statement because here you can pass the positional parameters, which means that you can pass on the arguments from the input here. So Ini says, okay, that's fine. But in statement also we can do so. And if you remember, in our last video, we did the same. From the input, we were getting the various details of owner. We were passing on to our SQL queries. We were getting the owner ID, owner name, pet ID, other things. And those also we were passing and performing all kinds of queries, whether it's a create, read, update or delete. So why do we need this? So Mini says that yeah, that is fine, but the problem is that whenever we have something like this, a dynamic query, then the statement becomes very slow. The processing of statement becomes slow. So Ini asks, what are these dynamic queries? And the Mini says that any kind of query which needs the frequent changes in the input will be considered as a dynamic query here. So let's say that from the user you are taking the user ID, or you are just taking the owner ID and the owner name you are passing on to your query. So here the input is going to change again and again, and hence it will be considered as a dynamic query. So again Ini says, then why can't statement do this? I mean, we just saw that in statement also we embed it. So what is still the problem? I mean, Ini is still not getting that why do we need a prepared statement. Yeah, it's fine that we can pass on the positional arguments and do this and do that, but why still? So Mini tries to explain in more detail that in statement what happens is that every time the input is going to change. So let's say that initially you are saying select star from some kind of table. Let's consider it to be the owner table where ID equals to 1. So this kind of query will be compiled first and then it will be executed. Now you are saying that ID equals to 2. So again the whole query will be compiled and again it will be executed. So basically there are two steps for every kind of change in input. That is, first it will be compiled and then it will be executed. But on the other hand, when we are making usage of the prepared statement, so here the initial part is going to be pre-compiled, which means select star from owner table where ID equals to, and let's say question mark as of now. So this particular part will be pre-compiled, and then we are just going to pass the input as 1, 2 and 3. So only those input is going to change. Rest of the query is not going to be compiled again and again. And hence you see that whenever we are going to have a dynamic query, at that time prepared statement are helpful as compared to the statement. But does this mean that every time we should go for a prepared statement? The answer is again no. This is something like that since you like a chocolate, you are eating every day chocolate only in all the 3 meals of your day. But we know that if we will eat chocolate every time, every day, then it is going to affect our health, although it is tasty. Yeah, we still need to have a proper balanced diet. So same way here, prepared statements can be used when we are going to have a dynamic query, when the input is going to change again and again. And statements can be used in the other scenarios. So let's say if your query is simply like select star from owner table. Now here you don't need to take any input from the user. So you can go simply with the statement itself. Same thing Mini is trying to explain here. So Ini says, okay, that is fine, but is there anything else also? Because if you remember, with the statement in our last video, we saw that there can be an SQL injection attack. So can prepared statement save from this? And the answer is that yes, prepared statement can help you to avoid the SQL injection attack also. So the moment you have started using the prepared statement, you don't need to worry about this particular SQL injection attack. Now how this is going to happen? We will be learning with the help of our code. So by now you must have got a very basic idea that why do we need a prepared statement. And still, if you are thinking that why do we need to use it, then just wait for the code. I'll show you everything step by step. So now let's move on to our ID. So here we are in our demo number 3. This demo 0, demo 1 and demo 2 I have already covered in my past videos, and now we are going to cover demo 3. So in this demo also, rest of the things are going to remain same. There is no change. The moment if you say I wish to go for prepared statement, there is no other change. Everything will remain same. The only changes is in your repository IMPL. So now since in the repository IMPL, we already know that how to create a connection and everything. So I have a part of code ready-made available with me, which is basically copied from the previous demos. And here basically we will be just adding the code of the prepared statement. So this is our first method. And let's assume you don't know anything about statement. You missed our previous video. Okay. So first of all, that's not a good thing. You should watch all the videos in the particular sequence. But still assume you missed it. So then what? So in that case, we'll directly learn that how to write a prepared statement and how to use it in order to save the owner in our particular database. So let's start here. So first of all, as you can see, we have loaded the driver here. Now in the latest JDK versions and the latest driver versions, this is basically an optional kind of thing, because here we are making usage of JDK 17. If you wish, you can go for JDK 21 also, but this is not the complete feature is available as of now. And also with the driver, we are using the latest version. So the moment you are adding a driver to your class path, you don't need this particular statement. But still, it's better to have it there with you so that you know the sequence and at least your basics are clear. Later on, when we will go for the advanced videos, we may not write this again and again here like this. Then after loading the driver, the next step is to create a connection with the database, for which we are passing the database URL, username, as well as the password with us. So all these three things are passed. And what should be the fourth step? So the next step is that we need to provide a prepare statement here. So let's see how we can do so. So for this, first of all, let's go to connection and see if there is any particular method for this. So we'll go there and we can see there is particular create statement, but we used this last time. Yeah, let's see for the prepared statement, do we have anything? And yeah, as you can see, there is something like prepare statement. Also, the difference between these two is it is going to provide you statement, it is going to provide you prepared statement, and you will say, yeah, that's too obvious. But the major difference is it is not taking any kinds of arguments, but this one is taking your SQL query. So that is when I say pre-compilation will be done. Yeah. And also, if you want to check about this prepared statement, let me just open it. So you can see this is basically a child interface of statement only. So whatever the benefit statement was providing you, prepared statement will provide you the same plus some additional advantages. So let's see all these things step by step, and let's call this particular method of prepared statement. So I'm copying from here, and let me go to this part and say connection dot, and let's try to type it prepare. Okay, that's wrong. So it should be prepare statement. Is it coming? Yeah, this one is there. So we get a prepare statement here, and here, as you know, we need to pass a query string. So let's call it as SQL, and let's provide the query on the top here. So string SQL, and then it should be something like this. So there it goes. Now we need the SQL query here. So for this, we'll go to our resources folder, database.sql. I just renamed it to .sql from .txt if you saw this in the previous video. And let me say here open with text editor. Otherwise, it will directly open in my MySQL workbench, which I don't want. And let me copy this statement as it is. Insert one. So I'm copying it here, and let me paste it here. So yeah, there it goes. Something like this. And I don't need this one. Let me close the statement here only, and it should be looking something like this, a very big one. Okay, so I need to scroll from left to right here, which is very boring. So let me do something. Let me select this part and say Control Shift F. Control Shift F. Okay, it is not getting formatted. Not sure why. Maybe I need to provide the enter on my own. But there is one more way for such kind of things, because what happens is that, let's say if you think to provide the enter on your own here, so maybe you will be doing something like this. So one enter here where you will be providing all the column names, then one enter after your values, and then you will be saying something like this. But the problem is this plus symbol. Yeah, I mean, although it's not any kind of problem, it will be taken and it is going to work fine also, but this is not much more readable. So here we are going to make usage of our string blocks, or which we can also call as text blocks. So I'll just say here 3 times. Now I don't need something like this, and these 3 double inverted commas I can put up here also, and it should be something like this. So yeah, there it goes. Now I don't need this, I don't need this too, and here also let me just remove this particular part, so I don't need this. And yeah, this is how it is going to look like for me. The whole thing has been created here, and this also should be in my next line here. So let me remove this particular part here, and yeah, so as you can see, now this looks better. There is no extra plus symbol, and this is much more readable also as compared to the previous one. Although we have too many columns, so it is still looking big. If you wish, you can still divide it in 2 parts the moment you have started taking your pet values, and now you don't have that particular extra plus symbol. So this is an interesting feature. You can tell me in the comment section in which Java version this particular feature of text blocks was added. Yep, obviously it was not in Java 8. So now let's move on with the next part. So here the important thing which you need to remember is that we are not going to take all the values of owner, like the variables and everything, directly here. Instead, we will be providing them as the positional arguments, or you can call them as positional parameters. So these question marks are your positional parameters. So what the very first thing which you need to think is that the number of columns and the number of question marks should be same. It should not be the other way around, otherwise your query is not going to work and you will be having some kind of SQL error. So let's count the same. So here we have 3, and these 3 6, and this 2 8, then 10, then 12, and 13. So I'm having 13 columns with me, and let me count the question marks. So it is 3, and these are 3 6, and this is 3 9, and this is 3 12, and then yeah, this is the 13th one. So yeah, this is also fine. Now the next step is I have provided the SQL, I have said here prepare statement, and the next is I need to execute the same. So that execution step is going to remain same. We just need to say connection dot, and can I say execute? So let's say execute here, something like this. Okay, this execute is not coming. Now guess the reason why execute is not coming, because this execution method doesn't even exist in the connection. That is going to come from your prepared statement, like last time it came from your prepared statement. So let's have it here first of all. So let me create a prepared statement variable first. Let's call it something like this. Now this is the best thing which I like, that you don't need to think what name you will be giving. Whatever is the name of a class, you can use the same name for your variable also, and it is going to be readable, and that's fine here, although it's looking little big. So yeah, let me just save it like this, prepared statement. So I'm having this. Now let me use this prepared statement and say dot and say execute. Now what do you think, which execute method shall I go for? Execute update or query? You can tell me in the comment section before proceeding, and I'll tell you that since we are going to modify the database, it will be execute update. So let's use this execute update, and this time we don't need to provide the SQL query again. So you can use the very first one, and as you know, this is going to provide you the number of rows which have got affected by this kind of particular modification to your database. But as of now, we know that the moment we are going to add one owner, so one row should be added, and hence we are not making any usage of the return thing. So this is fine as of now. So yeah, everything looks good here. But what is the mistake? I mean, how we are going to pass on this owner details to these question mark? That is only the biggest problem as of now. Because last time, if you remember, when we were working with the demo2 statement, let me just open it for you here. So this is my demo2, there I go, and this is my repository IMPL. So here you see, I was providing all these things in the SQL query itself, and hence I was directly executing the same. So this execution is also same, but this time, how can I provide all these inputs? Because I should not be able to provide them here in the question marks. So that is my first worry as of now. So for this, what I will be doing is, I will say here, prepare something like this, and I'll say set. So you will say set, and now think that what is the data type of your very first positional argument. So this is an ID. And what is your ID? So if you don't remember, so you can go to this DTO and here you can check. So this is an integer. So we'll come back here, and I don't need this one. So we'll come back here and we'll try to look for something like set int. And yeah, this int is there, and it is taking two arguments, the parameter index and then the value itself. So index is 1. Index don't start here with 0. This is again important to remember. And here you pass on your second thing, that is owner dot get ID, something like this. So this is the way it is going to work. And same way you need to provide all the rest of the 12 arguments also. So let me pause and provide, and then I'll be back here. So we are back here, and as you can see that I have provided all the values. So I'm setting all the things one by one, and I'm using the exact data type. So this is something which you need to take care. If it is an integer or a string or whatever it is, and just by saying here control space, you can see all the different kinds of data types this is going to support. And just take care the extra for this particular date part also, because here you need to convert the local date to the Java SQL date. So this is again something to be taken care of. Now here we can see there is something, a blue line, which says that use try with resources, but as of now I don't want to use try with resources. What is the other option? Close this prepared statement in the finally clause. Yeah, this again we forgot. We need to close the prepared statement in the final block, like the last time we closed the statement also. So let's do the same, and for this what I'll just do is I'll copy this particular part and I'll paste it here, and here I will be saying this time as prepared statement. So let me copy this, let me say here prepared statement, let me say here prepared statement. Yeah, and now this looks fine. So here I'm just saying that if this prepared statement is not null, then only close. I mean, if it is already null, then why do we need to close? There are chances that exception may occur in this particular line itself. So this is something which we need to provide here. And as you can see, rest of the things looks good, and it's that simple. The best part is you don't need to change this particular thing again and again. It will be getting pre-compiled here. So this is for the save owner, and let me close this particular demo2. And now let's move on with the next one also, that is find owner. So for the find owner, what I have done is, here let's go with a different trick. Now let's say that you have already written a code, you have already watched a video of statement, and you have made usage of the statement, and now you are saying that I want to enhance this code. So in the first one we saw from the scratch, and this time we will see from the perspective of enhancing the code, from converting the code from statement to prepared statement. So here we say load driver, yeah, that is fine. Then we are creating a connection, this is also fine. Here it says create statement, this is not fine. Let's change it to prepare statement. So here we will say prepare statement, first one, and let's say SQL. So yeah, there it goes. And here you can see this statement is working for this. So if you wish, you can provide here statement also, because you know that statement is the parent of the prepared statement. Yeah, but otherwise, just in order to remove your confusion as of now, let me just call it as prepared statement as of now. Otherwise you will still think that why I'm using the prepared statement for this. And let me also rename this as prepared statement. So something like this. Yeah. Now this is my prepared statement, and here this is return. So that is prepared statement. Let me close this prepared statement in this particular part. So that is also done. And we are left with this particular execute query. So this time, since it is finding the owner, we will be saying prepared statement, not the execute update. Yeah. So yeah, this is done. But do we need to provide the SQL again? The answer is no, you should not provide. Otherwise you may think that it is not working fine or as per your expectation. So don't provide the same thing again here. Yeah. Then there is no benefit of using prepared statement if you are doing in that way. What about this result set? This is same what we learnt in our previous video, same kind of theory. This while part is also same. So I have already explained you the details, how the result set is going to work, how this while is going to work, what is there in our this particular method of converting from the result set to DTO. So this part is going to remain same, hence I'm not going to spend time on this again. Yeah, otherwise you'll say that this person is making us bored. So yeah, this is done. And now the only issue left is that I should not be using this equal to symbol and something like this, and instead I should be directly saying equal to question mark, and yeah, something like this. This time I just need one question mark, and that's the best part of this. So now after this, the next thing is I need to set the value. So let me just copy this again, let me provide it here and say set int. Now although this is one, you still need to provide the index number, and this is already taking the owner ID. Yeah, that's good. That's the advantage of providing the correct names and correct data types. So yeah, there we go. And rest everything is looking again same. So it is going to provide us an owner, and we are just taking one owner. We are also sure that whenever we will be providing an ID, only one owner is going to come in our output. Just everything is again looking same here. Let's move on with the next one quickly. So here comes our update pad details. So this update, if you remember, this is again a kind of modification. And if it is a kind of a modification, so I should be able to copy the code from this particular first part as it is. Let me try to copy. So let me copy this whole thing here as it is. So I'm just saying copy, and let me provide the things here in the update pad details. So yeah, I have copied and pasted the things. The only thing which is not looking good here is first of all my SQL query, because I should not be providing this. Let me see if I'm having some better query here. So let me again say text editor, and for this update here I'm having this particular one, update owner table. And then so if you wish, you can still go for this block, or you can just go for a single line also. Like this is fine. I mean, it's simple like this. It's not a very big one, so you can just go for this. It's looking good. Or if you want to have this thing in multiple lines, so again you can go for that particular text block, so that you can go. Now let's start setting the values. So this time the first one is not your ID, the first one is your pet name. So here let me just be a little lazy here. So yeah, I'm having this pet name here. So let me say control X, let me say here control V, and yeah, let's move ahead and let's provide the pet name for this particular thing. And this is on my index 1. Now on the index 2, for that is this one here, I'm having the owner ID with me. So let me directly provide the value. Yeah, this is also looking good, and I don't need all these extra things. So yeah, that is gone. This is also looking nice to me. Rest everything is same. Yeah, and let's try to format it a bit. I guess I have made somewhere an extra bracket, so let me remove this and let me try to format this again so that it looks nice. Yeah, now it is better. So you should also try to format your method at least, not the whole class, because whenever you are, let's say, working in a project and by mistake if you are saying Control Shift F on the whole class, so it will show you the changes in the whole class whenever you are going to commit your code in the Git. and which is not a good practice. Yeah, so it should only show the changes which you have actually done, not because of any kind of formatting. So this is good. Now let's move on with the next part here. So let me again copy and have it with our delete. So let me paste it here, and this time let me again take the delete query. Yeah, this is also there with me, so I'll copy it and I'll just update this one here. And this time I don't need this pet name, it's not needed. I just need, but remember to make it 1. So this is something which you need to remember here. Rest everything is same. That's the best part of it. And let's move on with the next one, that is find all owners. So for this one, again here I'm making usage of the statement. What do you think? Shall I go for the prepared statement here? And can we go for the prepared statement here? Just try to think as of now without changing. So first of all, instead of create statement, we will start writing here prepared statement. Instead of statement, I will say prepared statement here. And this prepared statement SQL query I'll give here itself, so I don't need to provide it here. Yeah. And do I need to set any values? The answer is no. I just want to execute the query as it is. So if I don't need to set the values again and again, why should be I doing that extra particular job? Yeah. So don't say that every time we should go for a prepared statement. You need to think efficiently that which one you should go for. Do you want to go for statement or prepared statement? If you think the input is changing again and again, go for prepared statement. If it is a static query like this, so here I'll say this is a static query because it is not taking any kind of input. On the other hand, all these which we saw till now, whether it's a create, read, update or delete, all of them were dynamic queries because they were taking something from the user as the input. So here we should not change. Yeah, and still if you will change, there is no harm, but it will be something like performance issues. Yeah, I mean, because you are again doing something extra. This is again like if you will eat chocolate daily, it won't be any issue directly. Yeah, but overall it is going to degrade your health if you will eat chocolate daily, although the chocolate is very nice. Yeah, let's move on with the next one. And that's our final one, where the last time we saw the SQL injection attack. So I'm having that SQL injection attack query still with me. Now what I'm thinking is that instead of directly changing this, let me execute the code with this as it is. We'll see whether all our other changes are working fine or not. And then we are going to see the SQL injection attack again quickly so that your memory will get refreshed. The whole details are available in our previous video, but we'll still try to refresh your memory and then we'll change the things here and then we will see how the things are working. I mean, are we still getting the issues or not? So let's quickly execute the code here. So I'll go for this one. I'll say execute and say Java application, say okay, and yeah, there we go. There we go. It happens sometimes. So yeah, what do we wish to do first of all? So first of all, I wish to say welcome to Petistaan, and let me say here 1, and it says that enter the ID of owner. Okay, let me add the ID of owner here. We already have 72 IDs available with us in our database, if you remember. So let's go for this 73rd. Yeah, and what should be the name of owner? First name, so it should be scale up. What should be the last name? It should be India. The owner as of now, let's say male, and let's say the CD is YouTube. Okay, and what is the state? State is, let's say, Google. What is the mobile number? 123456789. Yeah, that's look good. What is the email ID? So let's say here support@scaleupindiayt.com, although this doesn't exist. Yeah, and then let's say the pet ID. So again, let's say 73, and then what is the name of the pet? So the name is, let's go for this Mithu. And what is the date of birth? Let's say 11-11-2023. Yeah, I'm just providing, although this is a future date as of now, but yeah, it's fine. It's a very basic code. And Mithu is a bird, so let's say bird here. And yeah, it says that owner has been added successfully, and I wish to continue. Let's check here itself. So let's fetch the owner details. Let me pass here 73, and as you can see, this is working as expected. All the values are getting saved here. So every time whenever you are working with this, don't just become happy when you see the statement that it has been saved successfully or fetched successfully. Always verify all the values. Sometimes it happens that particular value is not getting saved here, so it can be an issue. Maybe you have forgotten a particular set statement. So just check. As of now it's looking good. So let's say y again. This time let's update the pet details. So let's say 3, owner ID, let's again say 73, we remember. And from the mid-to, what do we want to say? Do you have any better name? So let's call it as Pikachu. Okay, and let's say y again, and then again let's try to fetch, and this time the ID is again 73, and this time let's see, and you can see the pet name has been updated to Pikachu. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, it has been updated. Let's continue, and now let's delete the owner. So let's say 4, and let's say 73, and yeah, the owner has been deleted. Let's verify. Let's say y and again try to fetch the details for that owner. So we should be getting a error statement here that owner doesn't exist. So yeah, it says can't find owner with the owner ID 73. Yeah, so that means all our initial methods are looking great. In the last one, for this particular, that is fetch all owners, we didn't made any change, but still if you wish, let me just quickly execute and say 5 here. So you can see all these 72 owners are there. So yeah, all my code is working fine, and now my code is having a mixture of statement as well as prepared statement, and yeah, that can exist. Yeah, so that's looking good here. Now the next part. Okay, so again let's try to say y here, and okay, it's not saying the 6th option. Maybe I have forgotten to update the demo. Just give me a moment, I'll update and be back. So I'm back guys, and now this 6th option is also available to me. So let me just press this 6 here, and then let's say the email ID of the owner. So let's go here and let's select the very first one, John Doe. Let's provide this and give the date of birth. So the date of birth is 12/4/2019, and let's say 12/04/2019. So yeah, this is working fine. John Doe is available to us, pet name is Fluffy, pet date of birth is also fine. Now let me try to make a mistake. Let me give a wrong email ID, na@na.com. Now you know that since this email ID doesn't exist, so I should not be getting any particular kind of data here. Yeah, it should be empty, which is looking empty as of now. Now let's try to have a injection attack. So again let's say 6, and this time let's remember what we learned in the SQL injection attack. First of all, give any kind of ID. Now I need to close this string by providing this single inverted comma. So let me say something like this. After this I need to have an OR condition so that my where condition always gets satisfied. So I'll say OR, and I can give in general like 1 equals to 1. It shouldn't be a name as such. It may think it to be of something like a column name, so better to have a number only. So you can say 2 equals to 2, or you can just provide us the number of subscribers here. What do you think, how many number of subscribers we are having as of now when we are watching this? When I'm creating this one, I'm having around 356 subscribers. So it happens because you like the video but you don't subscribe, so the number remains stuck at that point. Yeah, so here let's give again some space, say hyphen, and we need to make rest of the part as comment. So let's give a space. So this is how it is going to look like. Now again let's give a date of birth. It can be any, it can be right or wrong, who cares, something like this. And you can see, yeah, that's the thing. So SQL injection attack has occurred here guys. So we are able to see all the data. So that was the drawback of statement. Now let's stop the code and enhance the code as per our prepared statements. So let me go here quickly. For the first thing, we need to have a prepared statement here. So let's convert it to a prepare statement. And you see these options of prepare call, this we'll see in the next video. Yeah. As of now, let's work with the prepared statement. and this is the level of the laziness, so I'm copying from that name, or you can call it as smartness also. It depends what you wish to call. So I'll consider it as smartness as of now for my benefit. So let me just change everywhere to this is prepared statement. So yeah, this is done, and let me just say here Control Shift O again. Okay, why this is not coming? So it should be prepared statement. That was the mistake. So here also let me write here prepared statement. I mean, that was not that much smartness. So I like the same name as the class name. Okay, there should not be any kind of confusion. I guess last time also we made usage of prepared statement only as the variable name. So yeah, now this looks good to me as of now. The only thing left is I need to update the SQL query. So this time I don't need to provide anything like this. I can just say here question mark, make it simple. Here also I don't need to provide anything like this. I can just provide a question mark and I can make it simple here. And the next thing is I need to provide the values. So I'll just say here prepared statement, and then I'll set the first thing is the email ID. So email ID is a string. So I'll say here string and index 1, and it should be an email ID, which is the owner email ID. So it's looking something like this. Yeah, that's looking good. Now let's provide it again, and this time it needs to be a date. Okay, so this is your date and this is index 2, and here let's provide the date. So this is pet date of birth. So let me copy and let me provide here, and there we go. And we are seeing the error, which is obvious because this is a local date. It says I need a date, which is an SQL date. So I will say date dot value of, and this is pet date of birth. So yeah, this is how it is going to look like. So we have updated this to a prepared statement. It's that simple. It won't take much time. Now let's execute the code one more time, and hopefully this is going to be our last time. We have made all other changes to make it a prepared statement, and let's go here. Let's say again 6, and yeah, there goes our email ID. Let's try to go with the same email ID, this one, and there we say this, and let's remember the date. So it is 04/2019, guys. Yeah, and this didn't work. There is a mistake. And what's that? You have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to your MySQL server version, something like this, this, and this. So it says it is still taking question mark and question mark. Why so? What is the mistake here? Do you think? I mean, what do you think from this? What can be the kind of mistake? Why is it still saying question mark, question mark? Like, we know how to work with the prepared statement. Just guess the mistake. Yeah. So this is the SQL and it is coming 3 times. Why so? Yeah, see, there's the culprit. That's the mistake which can happen when you will give the SQL again in this part. So you just need to give here. If you will provide here, it will take your this particular part only. Yeah. So don't provide the same thing again, because next time it should be just taking the inputs. So I have removed it, and let me execute again. So again 6th, and again let's go for the John Doe. I don't remember. Yeah, this is there. So let's say 1904-2019, and this time it is not working. Why? Did I went for the wrong thing? It is 12/04/2019, so it's not good here. So I'll again say this. I'll again say, let me give 6 here. Again it will become wrong otherwise. So let me do this, and this is 12/04/2019, and hopefully this should be the right. And you see, tada, the thing is working fine for us. We are getting the right answer. At least for the correct thing, it is working fine. Whenever you are testing, always test for the happy path first. So this is looking good. Now let's try to move step by step. Again is 6, and this time let's say na@na.com. For this one, let's see first of all. Okay, 11-11-2022. Yeah, nothing is coming. That's looking good. And now our last deal. we need to provide the SQL injection attack here. So na@na.com. Now we'll say this because as per the rule this was required, and here let's say this time as or, yeah, and here we can give anything. Let's give here 2 equals to 2 and space and some hyphen then again space. So this was needed for the email ID. Pet date of birth is again something looking like this. And what do you think? Will this again show us everything, or will it stop the SQL injection attack? And yeah, it's done. See, it's that simple. This is not at all working this time. So it is stopping the SQL injection attack. So in the previous video of the SQL injection attack, we saw that first of all we made too many mistakes here. We are returning the list, and there were so many other things which we discussed. I'm not going to repeat everything here. But at the end, I mentioned that the moment you will start using prepared statement, it will save you from the SQL injection attack. And see, this is saving you. And that's the major benefit. I mean, what else do you need? It is saving your application. Yeah, this is the biggest thing. And then you will say, why should we use this? Yeah. So don't say that. And yeah, it is done. It's happy. We are happy. And now our code is saved from this as of now. There can be many more factors, some way other way around also, but as of now our code is safe and we are done with the demo. And what's next? So for the next, first of all, you need to subscribe to the channel, you need to like this video, you also need to comment in the comment section. Otherwise, you know what happens, YouTube says that okay, this video is getting some views but people are not commenting, people are not liking, people are not subscribing, so let's not promote this particular YouTuber. And yeah, it's all finished at that moment of time. So I'm just a new person, so help me in order to grow. We can both grow simultaneously. Yeah. So meet you in the next video, and in that video we will see how to work with the calls and basically the stored procedures and the prepared calls. Thanks everyone.